Memphis is the home of the blues, rock and roll, and Earle Farrell.
From the Collierville Square to the mighty Mississippi, the Earle Farrell for Memphis show is all about good things that happen across the Bluff City and the people who make Memphis cool.
The Earle Farrell for Memphis show is made possible by our title sponsor, Southern Security Federal Credit Union.
By Dive Shop and Dive Ventures nationwide. Jim Harris Chevrolet with George Gully. For Memphis Magazine, the Live at the Garden concert series, and the Orpheum Theater Group Memphis, and by Mitch Wright Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, family owned and operated for more than 40 years, and brought to you by High-Low Commercial Services. Thank you to all the sponsors for making this possible.
And now, coming to you from Lansky Brothers, Clothier to the King, inside the world-famous Peabody Hotel, with the heart of a cowboy and Memphis in his soul. Ladies and gentlemen, here's your host, Earle Farrell.
And thank you very much, and welcome into Lansky's and the Peabody Hotel. And as soon as you get here, we're going to leave. We're going to go to Fayette County and Paul Shanklin from his lovely home there. Good afternoon, Paul.
Good afternoon.
This is the reason I called you yesterday was because the market dropped 1,000 points, and we've talked. It's a free fall, but you've always walked me off the edge of the roof. Actually, you threw me off the edge of the roof a couple of times because you say, when do you need the money? And
right.
If you got a client, because you're a certified financial advisor, and you say, if you don't need it now, why would you sell it now? Because it's gone down in the price.
Right.
And so,
well, people have the same kind of reaction going up and down. When it's going up, they're irrational. When everything's going up, everybody's like, oh, man, this is great. This will never end. It just never. Well, and then the day it turns around, heads south for some event, and that's what this is, an event. They're all like, oh, no, why did I ever do this? I need to get out. When are you going to retire? Well, 20 years from now? Well, I think you got enough time for it to recover. And today, say a comparison, yesterday, my overall, this is everybody that I manage, portfolio was down about $250,000 in one day. But that's $30 million that I'm managing. So today it's up about 88,000 at the close.
Already.
And that's not the final close because there's mutual funds and others that are going to report a little later. So by 6 o'clock, my guess is we'll be at half of what we lost yesterday. And we still got a ways to go. The only thing I was doing yesterday and the day before that was selling off some oil stocks I had.
And I thought that was interesting because you said I did sell some oil stocks and explain the reason behind that.
Well, I've been watching it go up, and it's been in reaction to this. It's been this lead up to maybe having a war with Iran. And they all start thinking of the worst thing that could happen, which is, we lose, they take over Middle East or whatever, or just the Strait of Hormuz gets closed, which 20% of the world's oil goes right through there. But now that they don't have a navy in Iran, they have a couple of speedboats with some guys that are pretty jittery at this point.
Some potato guns.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah, probably not going to be doing a whole lot of tanker
or laying mines or anything else. They got no navy.
No,
I did think it was interesting that their biggest ship in their fleet was sunk by a submarine in the Indian Ocean. Hasn't happened since World War II.
Yeah.
I mean,
they're with the gloves are off. This isn't your mother's UN. This is an all out, full blown attack with the gloves off.
Even Iran came out and declared war on the U.S. today, which I think, well, it must be official then because whatever mullah they have left said, let's go ahead and declare war.
Yeah, well, they had to catch their breath.
Yeah.
And after running, and then they all get together. Let's all get together and choose the next.
And then they blew them away.
No. I'm not. I don't want to be the leader. I
Let's
don't want
not
to be the
meet.
leader. Don't make me. Yeah.
Can we do this in a
It's
Zoom?
the other guy in the turban. It's
Yeah.
the other guy in the turban.
Get the skinny guy.
But with something like this, the lead up to the war, you could see the price going up. Exxon's a great company, and I've had it for a long time. I bought it when it was like 33.
Wow.
But it kind of topped out at like 155, and it's like I feel that going forward, that's going to be probably the better price. I mean, so I sold off a good chunk of it and took the win, and that was, and bought a few other things that were had been kicked in the ribs. So it was a win-win, and it's Exxon is a fabulous company, but it's not going to go crazy and grow 39% in 1 year again, going forward. And it was just too expensive, so I sold it.
You've already recovered some today, as you said. As this moves on, and they have less and less resources, let's call it, then do you think the market will level out? What the market doesn't like is any kind of
uncertainty.
And but the more certain the outcome of this, does that mean that it'll shore up? And because I was hearing a scenario the other day that said, not only does securing the Straits of Hormuz, you also have the Chinese get their oil through there, and they're the ones who supported Iran by buying their oil.
One particular company, LyondellBasell, is a plastics. Mainly, they make different kinds of plastics. They went up today because China is their chief competitor, and China no longer has the cheap oil. It's hard for China to compete with price on the world market, on the normal world market. This is kind of the dark market where they're buying it from India, who got it from Russia, or directly from Russia, or directly from Iran, where they're buying it for a real steep discount. And so Lyondell, I didn't even think about this, I can't think of everything, but LyondellBasell, this helps them because now their competitors are more on an equal footing.
Essentially, what China was doing is buying oil on the black market at a discounted rate.
So was India, and they've taken Russia can't sell to India anymore. They can't, and they're not going to get drones from Iran anymore.
No,
and Iran won't be a threat to anybody in about 15 more minutes. And however, they, hopefully we don't go in and try to build schools and
I don't think that's going to
run
happen.
the bus service,
or have boots on the ground. I mean, there will be boots on the ground, but I think that's CIA and our intelligence people over there saying, "Where's the mullah today? Is there a mullah left?"
Well, or hand out weapons to people who obviously the people want to rise up.
Yeah.
And I think if they had the tools and they felt like they had the support, and I think they know they have the support.
Yeah.
I think if they had the tools, I think we can basically leave it to them to track down whoever needs to be dealt with and let them form their own government.
If you think about it, that's what happened to Gaddafi. He wasn't killed by American troops. He was killed by people in his own country.
Yeah.
And so he was hiding out.
El Duce, too, yeah. Yeah, El Duce. That's what, Hitler didn't want to go through having an El Duce movement either.
Ended up hanging from his heels by a power line in downtown Rome. So, so he ended up killing himself in a bunker someplace. Much better.
Right. Better than the Russians dealing with him.
Yeah, the Russians, they don't let you go easy,
No. And that's this, war's not good, but there weren't, I've gone back and forth with people that are libertarians are like upset that we're in this thing. But, I'm saying, okay, really, it could be worse than what we had. I don't see any avenue it could have been worse than what it was. I can see it being unstable for a while, but not worse.
No.
And once it stabilizes, hey, they can sell oil and actually get money. All the people in that country would be incredibly well off.
Same thing.
If they could just do business in the real world and behave themselves, they'll do great.
Yeah.
Same thing for Venezuela.
Absolutely. And in fact, they say that they're already pumping a great deal of oil out of Venezuela now, and it's going to start going back into the country, and they'll be monitoring that. I understand the next Trump has already indicated that he's going to Cuba next.
Yeah. Well, I think all I have to do with Cuba is go by and, pick them up and take them wherever they want to go, because at this point, they don't have any oil. Their economy's coming to a stop.
Even the cigars, they've worn the soil out in Cuba, and see, even the cigars aren't as good as they used to be.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised.
The people that fled there and went to Nicaragua, Honduras, they're making great cigars. And it's seeds from Cuba, but the Cubans never would let the soil rest or refurbish. And so it's...
They've just driven it down to the ground.
And they have no other resources except for tourism, really.
Right. Well, and if they didn't have an oppressive government, that's why when people say, well, I don't vote because I don't think it'll make any difference. Well, there's a lot of people in the world that don't get to vote.
Yeah.
I mean, or it's a sham vote.
And it does make a difference.
It does make a huge difference.
I saw a speech by
I think about Prince Mongo running, and we wound up with Willie for so long.
Everybody, because they thought it would be funny to vote for Prince Mongo, and look what eventually happened.
Oh, it'd be cute, and it was very small numbers,
but it was enough. It is interesting though to see all these change of events, because one thing opens up another avenue, and another thing closes another avenue. So we really won't know all the ramifications of this or Argentina, until we see how things are working. But it is very interesting times we're living in.
It is, and great changes, and it may, this is make or break for definitely for J.D. Vance if he's going to advance and run for president. If
Trump's successful, then he's got a good shot. If Trump's not successful, we all got a problem.
Well, that's true. And I'm as long as there's no viruses being created in China right now, we'd probably be doing pretty good, I think. But but politics, you've seen it yourself. It changes so quickly and turns on a dime. Good news, bad news, and things don't last. And what was it? The senior Bush was up by like 85% approval rate, and then it was all gone.
Drop like a rock. Yeah.
It can happen.
Speaking of dropping and rising, gold, silver. What is your take on gold and silver right now?
I think people are nuts.
I don't think if you dawned on you.
Well, every people have asked me for years, should I be in silver? Gold is a commodity. Oil is a commodity. I believe in being in commodities. But the thing is, it's just like in the 80s. Anytime you have a
crisis,
a boom in something, you're looking for it to be a bubble. You got a bubble in AI. Not all of these companies are going to be the company, and not all of them are going to make money. There's a lot of brick and mortar. These aren't just if you create a software, it's just digits.
Mm-hmm.
If you're doing AI, it's a building, it's wiring, it's chips, it's all this equipment. And if it doesn't make money,
that's a loss.
It's a loss. It's a boat anchor.
Yeah.
Now, somebody like Microsoft or Tesla or SpaceX, who actually owns XAI, they can handle that. But if all you're doing, I don't know. I just don't see it. I don't see everybody winning. You know what I'm saying? It's
because that never.
We're having a poker game and everybody's going to win
except for you.
Except for One person is going to come out really well. The others might be a couple that walk away with what they had, and there's going to be a lot of guys losing.
But it's like you said about Exxon, it's kind of like where it's at, and there's not going to be huge growth. Same thing with gold, but silver, because of its being used in all the new technology, that's where the real growth is going to take place.
I can see silver as an industrial metal. It's got but there's I read an article in Wall Street Journal. There are, and I can't think what they called them, but they're middle-aged women in China, and I want to say they call them the grandmother investors or something. There's some sort of name they give them, and they are buying about 20 to 30% of the gold in the market, and they're just it's an obsession.
And that's China.
And yes, and that's just China.
Because
and so you got
India has always been big on gold. In fact, they wear it as jewelry and everything.
Oh, sure, they wear it as jewelry and dowries and all that sort of thing for families. It's like the wealth of the family is in this.
Absolutely.
But I said if I had a gold mine, which actually I did, I have a bit of a gold mine for a while. I sold it off before it went back down again. Where was I going? Anyways, the thing is, any commodity is a hedge against inflation.
Yeah.
If gold was if inflation were to go to the point that it would kind of reach equilibrium with the inflated or with the advance of gold, the price of gold, inflation would be crazy high, thousands of %. We're not going there. Okay, we're not gonna go there. I don't see that happening. So the price of gold is so far out in advance of inflation. If that's the reason, I think it's crazy price. Silver, a little crazy, but there's not enough supply of silver for industrial so that's more of an industrial metal.
Yeah.
And that's what I would have, and actually have. I have a little bit of silver, but my father-in-law left some to us.
Well, I'm thinking about buying that bag of silver where you get the old silver dollars, just because I like them.
That's exactly what I've got. I got a Royal Crown bag.
Yeah.
with 15 silver dollars in there. I'm going to keep one of them, and then I'm going to give the others to the boys.
Yeah. I just wanted to hear it clank as it goes from one hand to the other.
Know. Oh, yeah. It's physical silver. You can hold it. Well, my neighbor down the road, when we had the ice storm, he had the jitters. He said, y'all, we couldn't get in or out of the neighborhood because there's a big hill getting out of here. He said, you got any coffee? I said, sure. I said,
you got any silver?
You got any gold bars or something we can?
It's going to cost you.
Work out this. He said, well, do you need some bread flour? I said, actually, I do need some bread flour. So we made a trade, and we traded commodities. We traded what we needed with each other.
Yeah.
And hopefully it's not like a taxable thing, but we considered it an even trade. And so he got a couple of cans of coffee, and I got some bread flour.
Well, the barter system is how this country really kind of got going. I mean, nobody had any money.
And that's why they made whiskey, because you could haul an entire load of corn in one barrel.
Yeah.
To your friends, and trade it for whatever you could get
or needed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, up next, we got Lance Walker, who's an auctioneer. We'll find out if all this is having an effect on his
He's selling gold in a hurry.
Yeah, and he gets a cut of the deal, so he probably has the best.
Everybody gets excited. Oh, yeah, I want that gold.
Paul Shanklin, everybody. Thank you, Paul. Always great talking to you.
Bye.
Goodbye. All right, as I just said, Lance Walker with Walker Auctions, LLC. Up next, and we'll talk about everything, really. But we'll give some hints on how to actually go to an auction and not just sit there going, what the hell are they talking about? So that's up next. Now here's a word from our sponsors.
Hi, this is Dawn Grader, President and CEO of Southern Security Federal Credit Union at our new headquarters here in Collierville, Tennessee, off by Hillier Road. We are the proud presenting sponsor of the Earle Farrell for Memphis show and are looking forward to a great 2026 where some of the shows will be hosted from our new headquarters location here in Collierville.
Hello, Memphis Mid-South. And first, I'd like to thank you for visiting with Earle Farrell Memphis today, and we want to support him just like you do. I'm George Gully, one of the sales managers at Jim Carrey Chevrolet. We've been in business here in Memphis for over 75 years. I've been associated with the company for almost 25, and I'll help you find the right car, truck, or SUV here at not only our Chevy store, but also Buick, GMC, Nissan, Subaru. We can help you find that right car. Keep watching, Earl, and come see me. Thanks so much.
Hi, I'm Mitch Wright.
And I'm his son, Mickey.
And we're the owners of Mitch Wright Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
And proud sponsors of the Earle Farrell for Memphis show.
We're thankful to be part of the Memphis community. We've been in business for 42 years, taking care of people and loving the people of the Mid-South.
Hi, this is Randy Wright from the Dive Shop and Dive Ventures in Memphis. We've been in Memphis over 64 years teaching people to dive, snorkel, and swim. We'd love to have you come join us and have some fun. We're also a part of the Dive Ventures Group with 18 locations across the country, stretched from Phoenix to Vienna, Virginia. Please give us a call. We'll be able to take care of you at 999 South Yates in Memphis, or call us at 901-763-DIVE.
Hi, I'm Brett Batterson, President and CEO of the Orpheum Theater Group in downtown Memphis. We are so pleased with our partnership with the Earle Farrell Show and very happy that he is broadcasting live from Lansky's at the historic Peabody Hotel. We're all here to make Memphis better.
He doesn't sweat. He exudes cleanliness. He doesn't wear a hard hat. He wears a halo helmet of hygiene. He doesn't just clean up the mess. He makes it ashamed of itself. He once found a Cheeto from 2003 and gave it a proper burial. His mop water is filtered through the tears of sloppy contractors. He uses Purell the way priests use holy water. His laundry detergent has PTSD. He's banned from construction sites for making everyone else look filthy. His laundry folds itself out of respect. He was voted most likely to disinfect in high school. He showers before, after, and during showers. Even Mr. Clean calls him Sir. He carries wet wipes holstered like pistols. When he sneezes, the room becomes 99.9% pure. He is the cleanest man in the world.
I don't always drink, but when I do, I disinfect the glass first. Stay spotless, my friends.
And welcome back. Stay spotless, my friends. Love that spot. In studio, actually, Lansky's, and where our studio is, we're joined by Lance Walker with Walker Auctions. Good afternoon, Lance.
Earl, privileged to be here, Earl. Thank you very much. What a setting. I love this. Love this.
You look good in that Lansky wedding jacket.
I feel good in this.
Show them the inside lining of that.
Yeah, there we go.
Those are all pictures of Elvis and Bernard Lansky and Priscilla.
It's great. It's beautiful.
Well, everybody looks better in a Lansky's jacket. That's just the way that is. You have a very interesting job, and we were just talking to Paul Shanklin about what's going on with the world. Your world really revolves around things changing hands.
It does. We work with people who are in transition or dying.
Yeah.
So we do a lot of estate auctions, and then we do a lot of auctions for people who are moving for whatever reason. And you were talking about gold and silver, and that's one of the hottest things we auction right now. It's a very in-demand commodity.
So because there's a world market, you can go anywhere in the world today, right now, this minute, and go online and say, what is the current market for gold? And it's all language and everything else, but it ain't the same, which I think is interesting.
It's not. And here's the thing, Earl. Is an auction is just like the stock market. Today, something might bring $100. Tomorrow, it might bring 80, or it might bring 120. It's just the demand is variable.
You know, the hardest part of your job to me, because I go to a lot of auctions and watch auction cattle, horses. I don't go to a lot of estate auctions, but I've been to them, is remembering what your last bid was. Because it's happening so fast. You go, give me $5.55. $25 is the, and then you go, somebody else bids something. Where were we? How much? Does that take practice to be able to?
It takes a great deal of practice. And the thing when you go to an auction, remember the auctioneer focuses on what he has, what he wants. Excuse me, not what he has. I'm bid 25.
Already got that. Yeah.
I'm bid 25. He has 25. Now 30. Now 30. Will you give me 30? 30? Would it be 30? Would it be 30? He's wanting, the number he's saying is what he wants, not what he has.
But how do you know as a bidder that it's going to go up higher? Do you wait until it gets to close to where you think it's going to crest? Or do you start in early and think maybe nobody else will bid and I'll get it cheap?
See, that's the strategy of the buyer, okay? And they have a strategy. Some buyers like to jump in. For example, if they say, I think that's going to bring $100, they may say 60 or 70. So they'll bump it up high to knock out a bunch of other bidders. See,
the riffraff.
That's right. You scare. I got to remember that term. Riffraff. I don't refer to them as. I refer to them as low bidders.
Low bidders.
You knock out your low bidders, and then others though, if it's worth $100, $10, let's go. You know, they'll start it low, build it up, like that.
Do people, in your experience, the ones that are really good at this, really research anything that's going to be like an estate sale? Will they go look at all the items online? Because you can do that now.
Yes, you can. It's easy to find out what something is sold at. Just Google. Google has changed our world as far as you don't need appraisals like you used to. Now, don't get me wrong. Still, you have to do some appraising, but you can just research Google and find out what something's sold for. In another place or here in Memphis or wherever, and find out what items have sold for. Doesn't mean it's what's going to bring at that auction, because again, you never know. If someone's needing that 1919 penny, and that's going to complete their collection, it's worth more to them than someone who's just starting out collecting coins.
I went to this coin shop over on Park Avenue.
Yes, I know the one you're talking about.
And I asked them, I said, do you got any, because I've always been looking for those Indian head pennies, you know? And I said, so are they really valuable? He goes, see that 55-gallon whiskey barrel over there? I said, yes, sir. He goes, full of Indian head pennies.
Yeah.
He said, you know what they're worth? I said, a lot? He goes, about a penny.
Now, that's the one thing, though, Earl, I think we're going to see go up because they've quit making them.
Stop making them. Yeah.
Now, once they stop making something,
that makes it valuable.
That's right. Just like there's one Earle Farrell.
Yeah.
So,
and everybody's in agreement to thank God. How did you get into auctioning?
Yeah,
what were you doing?
Had no idea. I never went to an auction. I was a kid. I have a master's degree in education. I was a guidance counselor. My father-in-law, Bob Turnage, in Haytown, Missouri, that's where we're from, he became an auctioneer. And he just needed help when he had an estate auction. He said, Lance, you're not bashful, so why don't you just hold up this item, and when you see somebody bid, you say, yep. You know, so that's a ringman. That's what a ringman does.
And you say, I can do that.
I can do that. I can do that. Make a little extra money. Well, Earl, I did one auction, and I said, I love this.
Really?
This is so much fun. And Bob was having a ball. Terry, my wife, she was clerking, writing down the bid. Everybody had fun.
That is true. When we go to the big rodeo in Texas and Fort Worth every year, and you go to the horse auction, which we love doing, and everybody's having fun. The buyers are having fun. The sellers are having fun. The auction crew, because those guys are all wearing cowboy hats and nice suit jackets. And whenever they get somebody that's bid, they go, hey! Because they want you to hear them.
That's right.
That the bid has gone up.
That's right. And that generates excitement. So that's why you like noise at an auction. It causes excitement. Yeah. So your ringmen are very loud.
But it really is show business too.
Yes, it's a lot of entertainment involved. I'm a half-baked entertainer.
Well, it is. And if you like entertaining, it's
Yes.
perfect. But getting the cadence down, was that difficult for you? Because that's a talent.
Yeah, you don't really learn it. You go to auction school and then you practice and you practice. It's like your multiplication tables. Once you learn them, 4 times 4 is 16, 5 times 5 is 25. So you have to go over and over and over. And there are drills that you learn. There's one called Betty bought some butter, but she said this butter's bitter. If I put it in my batter, it will make my batter bitter. So she bought a bit of better butter, put it in her bitter batter, made her bitter batter better. So does better Betty bought a bit of better butter. Now you think about that and you say, what did he say? That really is a long, long, long sentence. But you learn that over and over in your head, and then it just comes out.
Well, it's like in announcing and learning diction, all that.
Yes.
Peter Piper picked a pickle peppers,
Yep.
and the same thing.
Same thing. And so you do that with numbers, and you learn. Every auctioneer has their own chant. Yeah, my wife Terry, she won the world championship. The international auction championship competition among women. She's very good. I'm just an okay auctioneer. I'm a great entertainer. Have an average chant. And she has an exceptional chant. So it's
and
different
she's good
styles.
looking. She's better looking.
And she's a whole lot better looking. You and I share something there with our wives.
We were very sharp in picking that, bidding on that deal.
Yeah, they weren't.
No. Well, somebody's got to lose, as Paul Shanklin was saying earlier. There's always a loser.
Always a loser.
They're the losers. Do you enjoy inanimate objects more than living objects like horses, cattle, that kind of thing?
Earl, I tell you what I really like. I do a lot of fundraising auctions for charities, and I love these. I call them ego items. One time I was out in California, and I sold dinner for 50 couples. You go to George Lucas's ranch, and you watch the next Star Wars movie that was going to come out week before. Now you can imagine the kind of crowd I had there that could even bid on that, So that was we had so much fun selling that item, and it brought $100,000.
Wow.
And Mr. Lucas looked at me like that and gave me the 2 sign, let me sell one to the backup bidder. So we sold 2. So that charity made $200,000 off that item that, you couldn't touch. You went to having an experience.
I saw that happen. Felicia Suzanne's for Dishes for Wishes, and she had dinner for 10 at her restaurant.
Yeah.
It sold, so they said, "Let's sell another one." They sold that. I think they ended up selling 5 dinners for 50 people each, and made a tremendous amount of money. And really, the only investment they had to make was for the food, and then the service for presenting it and cooking it. And that's the thing is you never really know what's getting ready to happen, and it does kind of some items take on a life of their own. If you get 2 people bidding against each other, a lot of times they know each other.
And that makes it more fun, because I'm not going to let him outbid me, or she's not going to outbid
That's
me.
Where the ego comes in.
That's where the ego comes in. It's not about money; it's about ego.
Yeah. With going into a house like somebody's having an estate sale. Do you go in and set the prices, or does somebody else?
That's the difference. In a estate sale, they do set the prices. An online auction, we start most things at $1, and it just goes up from there. The buyer really does set the price at an online auction. We start it low because it gets a lot of people in. Oh, I'll bet $1 on that camper or whatever, Well, it quickly goes up higher. But everybody gets in, so once you're in, you have a little bit of ownership. And so, I got outbid. Well, I'll go ahead and bid another 100 or whatever. And that helps to bring the price to its value. And, value, what is value? That's the whole thing. What is something worth? And it may be worth a price to you and a different price to me. I think about real estate. I love to auction real estate. And you think about the grandparents that want to move close to their grandchildren, and they find a house a block away from where they live. Now, do you think they might be willing to give more than just Joe Blow who's looking for a house? Yes, they would. So that value is higher to those grandparents than it is just a regular buyer.
Do people, is it an advantage if you're somebody famous and you call in as opposed to being there in person?
Yes. You mean if you're selling for a celebrity or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes, if you can put a name on it, it means something. It means something. Yes, it does.
But if they don't want people to know it's, you know.
And that's where the online bidding comes in. That's why online bidding has become so popular now. People, you can buy and no one knows that Earle Farrell bought that item.
Yeah.
Because it's online. You've got a username. They don't know who it is. And people like that. Yeah.
I do know that we had a garage sale one time, and I sold my old mattress. And this woman bought it, and she said, "Would you autograph it?" And I said, "I feel kind of strange about that. I mean," but that's what she wanted. She said, "I'll buy it if you'll autograph it." And so I said, "Best wishes. Hope you enjoy this bet as much as I did." But that kind of thing, if something is signed by a famous person,
it makes huge difference. Yes.
And you can authenticate it. That it is authenticated.
See, that's the thing. We have people call, especially in Memphis, "Oh, this Elvis owned this," or "My mom got this from Elvis." Well, is there any documentation? Do you have anything? Well, no, I just got this from so and so. Well, it's got to be authenticated.
It's sort of like a contract. A judge told me one time, if it's not a contract, it don't exist.
It doesn't exist. That's exactly right.
Get it in writing, get it authenticated, and there's a number of ways of doing that.
Yes.
And speaking of Elvis, you said that early on, after Elvis passed, they had a big auction,
Yes.
and you had a number of times you went out there.
Oh, we did the first auction that they did out at Elvis Enterprises, and one of the consignors was from Australia, and I wish I could think of. He had a children's show that just was very popular back then, and he loved Elvis, and he collected so much of Elvis, all kinds of things. So these were authenticated. Everything we sold, Grayston said, "Yes, this is real. Elvis touched this, or this is a part of whatever." We sold. Elvis used to like to target practice in his backyard.
Well, he had a shooting range, indoor shooting range back there.
And the sheriff, Morris, would come over, and they'd shoot at this target on his. He had a house back there. We sold the target with all the holes in it. Brought $10,000 or $11,000.
Good grief.
A paper target, but because they could authenticate that Elvis had
Elvis
shot
and
it.
Bill Morris. Yeah. You get into, especially estate sales, you get in there and get to see all the stuff that's there. Do you get a first shot at anything?
No, I don't. I do bid sometimes. It's very, very legal for me to bid and buy stuff at auction. But no, we don't try to buy things ahead of time.
Because I would think, especially if you're looking at older guns, I love antique weapons.
Oh, yeah.
And some are just beautiful works of art. And I would have a hard, in fact, I tell the guy that owns the gun shop where I get my guns here in town, Jay Wells, and I said, I would want to keep all of them, you know, which is why people end up with huge selections.
And you mentioned that we just sold out Guns and Ammo, which I think was the oldest gun store in Memphis.
Over on,
he passed away.
I did not know that.
Yes, he did. And his widow just said, I can't run this store. Earle, she gave us the keys to the store. She never had a sale. Now you talk about, we had a hole in the entire store, brand new guns in cases. They brought tremendous prices. I mean, it was
much more than they would have brought just selling them in the store.
Because of the story. Everybody loved
Guns and Ammo.
Guns and Ammo.
Yeah.
They had that name, and they knew that it was their last chance to buy there.
Well, there'll never be another store like that in Memphis.
No.
And a lot of people have come into Memphis and opened gun stores thinking, hey, how can you not make money with guns? But a number of them have closed,
Yes, they have. There's only a handful now.
Yeah, and but he was good, and all his people were very knowledgeable in there and very helpful.
You know, that's what I like about what we do. We just like that situation, you know, that she was a widow in need, didn't know what to do really and how to do it. And we love to solve that problem for them. So it gets real personal for us. And we've got to do well for her.
And it is difficult because I know when both my parents passed away, I had to go to Texas and sit with my sister, go through everything that meant something to them in their world. And neither one of you want to go, do you want that? And you don't want to say no, but at the same time you go, where am I going to put that? And so, and there are companies out there, because I've had them on the show before, that actually go in and organize everything and put a price on it, and then they turn it over to you and leave the family completely out of it because they won't have guilty feelings about getting rid of something that Mama loved.
And let me tell you, Earl, your children do not want your stuff. That's what I have learned.
Or your ideas.
No, they'll take your cash, but they don't want your stuff.
Cash, gold, and silver, Mom, but that's it. Your knickknacks and your little statues from France, you can keep.
And antiques, they don't care about.
What happens to the stuff that doesn't get sold at an auction?
Well, Earl, most of the time, unless it's just not usable, it will get sold. We don't have much left over, but there are times that there are just things that
for some reason
don't. And so we do what's called a clean out. We have a gentleman who will come for a price, take everything away, throw it away.
Take it away.
He takes
and if he
it
can
away.
find somebody to sell it to,
and that's
his business.
That's right.
Yeah.
And he might do a little reselling himself. Yeah.
For so many kids today, it used to be everybody said you got to go to college. If you ain't going to go anywhere if you're going to get that college degree. More and more people are starting to look at life quite differently and saying, do something that you enjoy.
Yeah.
That you can go as far as you can go with your own talent. But it's like Trump once said, you can't make money if you're not in a making money business.
That's right.
But in this business, it is. Are you seeing younger people come into your business?
Here's what's exciting now. It'll cost you maybe $2,000 to go to auction school. Auction school only lasts about 10 days. It's a very brief, intense. Here's what you do: you learn the business after school, but your investment is very low. What we're seeing now, we're having a lot of young people that are infatuated with bid calling, and the FFA, that's the Future Farmers of America, they have really embraced this. We are having contests across the country. Terry and I are very involved in the National Auction Association. We were both presidents of the National Auction Association. And so on a state level, they're sponsoring contests for these high school kids that want to call bids. And Earl, some of them are better than us in the business. They've practiced, they've learned it, and we're excited about, what's going to happen in the future. Some of them will go into the business, not all of them, but some of them will go into the business.
Well, it's like my son and his wife both love the ranch life, raising black Angus and quarter horses and teaching young kids how to ride.
Yeah.
And it's such a different lifestyle of these kids. This weekend at the Agri Center, there were hundreds of them barrel racing. And
love barrel. My niece barrel races, yeah.
And there's a lot going on there. They're not down in the basement playing video games.
That's
right.
They're
living life.
Listen, there's nothing like, I grew up on a farm in the Boot Hill, Missouri. My dad was a cotton farmer. We all had a horse, and that's what we did 2 or 3 times a week. We would get out, saddle a horse, ride it.
Yep.
Loved it.
Well, it is a different way of life, and once you get into it, and you can tell from little kids, the ones that get it and the ones that don't. I mean, I don't think horse people are made. I think they're born, and you just have an affinity for it. We have some photographs I want to show. This is you and your wife, Terry, and then this is you dressed up and doing an interesting cut. It looks like a Lansky jacket, as a matter of fact, and a cowboy hat. That was the Colorado Auctioneers Association.
Yes.
And then this next one is you in a tuxedo, and we were talking today. A lot of you, especially your charitable events, fundraisers, you wear a tuxedo.
I always wear a tux. Yeah.
Because everybody looks good in a tux.
Even this pig, put a little lipstick on me and a tux.
The tux looks better than the lipstick.
That's exactly right.
And you got a violinist behind you, and then, of course, your wife.
Yeah.
And so when you're calling, do you switch off, or do you do it together?
We seldom do together, or we do sometimes. When I do, she will usually call the bids, and I will usually work the ring. She's better at that, and I'm better at the ring work. So as a team, we work like that, and we play off of each other, and I'll say something off, not insulting, but, a little, hey, you messed that one up, dear. You left some money on the table. Something that makes the crowd laugh.
Sure, because it is entertainment. But this is the picture I pulled off of your Facebook page, and that's the happiest I saw you of all the things in the other pictures. Is on a trout stream with a rainbow trout, or is that a brownie?
It's a brownie over in Spring River. Yeah, that's my happy place.
Well, it's because there's no pressure. You just go out there and enjoy every second of it.
It's a great release. You can be there in 2 hours, from Memphis, and once you get past Jonesboro, there's just something happens to you. You get in those mountains, those little hills, and the world goes away.
And the other thing about it, because lakes are great, but there's something about being on a river.
The rivers,
it's like it pulls the stress out of you and sends it on downstream.
Absolutely, yeah. That's what I love about trout fishing. That stream's going all the time, and you're throwing that fly out there trying to get them to bite it. And it's great to catch fish, but if I don't, I still had a great time.
Absolutely.
What's a bad day of fishing is better than a good day of work.
Well, I go down to Little Red sometimes.
Oh, yeah, that's a great place.
I've only got like a day and a half, and I'll sit on Ron Olson's little boat dock, watch the river go by, never throw a hook in the water because it is.
It's just relaxing, isn't it?
Yeah.
To watch that. Yes.
I used to look at my father when I was a little kid, and he'd get out in the backyard and just sit there in the late evening, watch sunset and birds and stuff, and I'd say, Dad, let's go do something. He goes, I am.
Yeah.
I say, you're doing nothing. You're sitting in a chair looking at the sky. And he goes, you'll find out one day.
And, even in Memphis, we forget about the river, but, to watch the barges go down, the boats, that's great entertainment.
Rob and Beth live in the old Holiday Inn Rivermont.
Oh, they do?
They sit there and have a great view of the Mississippi.
Yeah.
And there is something so tranquil about watching that big muddy roll by.
It is, yes.
And it's you have an incredible life, you and your wife, and in fact, you have a documentary y'all are filming
Terry
now.
is producing a documentary on bid calling itself. As I said earlier, she won this international auction competition several years ago, so she really has an affinity for keeping that alive. So she's interviewed, all tobacco used to be sold at auction.
Oh, yeah.
So she went to North Carolina and introduced the champion tobacco auctioneer. And she went to South Africa, interviewed Nelson Mandela's daughter, who's an auction fan, traveled all over several countries, and the documentary's finished. Now they're editing it, getting it ready, and it's going to be exciting. And we're excited about that.
We'll have to come back on, and we'll show some scenes of it, and in the meantime, encouraging other young people to get involved with this.
It's a great profession. Auctioneering is here to stay. It's changing with the online, but it's been very good to us. We thoroughly enjoy it, and like I say, you don't. Although we have college degrees, you don't have to have a college degree to be in the auction business.
Well, and then you come out in debt, and the last thing you want to do is go, "Who'll give me 555? Because I need 555."
It's true.
Lance Walker, thank you for stopping in with us. I always
you,
enjoy talking with you, and we look forward to having you back.
Thank you. I appreciate your show.
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
All right.
That is our show for today. Thank you for checking in. And we got a big show on Monday. We got a woman that's been in broadcasting in Memphis a long, long time, and we're going to take a trip down memory lane. You will really enjoy it. Natalie Rosenberg will be here with us on Monday, so check that out. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time.